Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores for week 23 of the 2018-2019 Premier League season. But as always, before we get on to this week, let's have a very quick look back at how well we got on last week in week 22.
So last week I didn't have a good week again. I had 6 points with one perfect score, that being Everton to correctly beat Bournemouth 2-0.
Yeah, and I didn't do, as always, too much better. I had 1 point more than you. I had 7 points with just one perfect score, same as you. But I had Burnley beating Fulham 2-1. Overall, though, Nathan, now you have 145 points and I have 168 points. So I'm ever so slightly edging away from you now. Looking in the comments section, most people last week had a bit of a bad week as well. However, there was one player who had a magnificent score of 14 points, and that was HG. So HG, congratulations. For those of you who are playing along in the fantasy football, here is the top 10. And once again, we've got Chicken Tikka Masala, top of the shop, managed by Flynn Simeones. Once again, I think he was up there last week as well. 67 points for the game week and 1,399 points overall. And top scorer for last week, well, there's two of them in fact. That was City Centurions FC, managed by Nick Fox, and Humanity FC, managed by Suman Gautman. I think we've mentioned him before a couple of times in the past. And they both had 75 points, so well done guys on that. You, Nathan, last week you had 59 points, which puts you on an overall score of 1,183 points, and I had just 54 points, which puts me on one more point than the overall, which is 1,184 points. But enough of last week, let's crack on and two-footed tackle into week 23.
Okay, first up we have Wolves versus Leicester. Now, Leicester, 8th position, lost last time around to Southampton, very shocked about that. Very cagey form at the moment, not doing well at home, seem to be performing definitely away. But yeah, coming against a Wolves side who've lost their last 2 matches, notably one of them to Crystal Palace. I think this is going to be a close game. Wolves do well at home, Leicester do well away, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, difficult one to predict this one. Leicester sort of form up and down, up and down. You can't really, predict their scores. Cardiff went away a few weeks ago and beat them. Last week, again, beaten at home by Southampton. Wolves on the end of a heavy defeat against Manchester City. I think a few people were expecting Wolves to do a little bit better than that. In this fixture, I think it's going to be very close, but I've got the Wolves running out narrowly 2-1 victors. Next up, we got Bournemouth against West Ham, which is the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. The Wolves-Leicester one kicking off at 12:30, of course. But Bournemouth, West Ham having an excellent victory last week against Arsenal. Bournemouth, dire form at the moment, losing again last week, and they're down to 12th position at the moment. In this one, however, they're stronger at home, the Cherries. West Ham going away, they're going to be full of confidence, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring, entertaining game, and I can see this one ending 2-2.
I actually think West Ham are going to win this game. 9th position, doing really well at the moment. Bournemouth seems to be in free fall, haven't won in 5 matches, getting the odd draw here and there. I think this is going to be West Ham's game away, and I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory to the Hammers. Next up we have Liverpool versus Palace. Now Liverpool bouncing back after that loss a few weeks ago to Man City. Palace doing well, a bit cagey form, however they were on a good run of form in recent weeks. But to be honest, this is going to be Liverpool's. I think it's going to be 3-1. Palace always seem to score. I think it'll be a Liverpool win. Yeah, Liverpool are very strong at home. I think they're undefeated now in 10 home league matches. Very strong. Coming up against Crystal Palace, I find themselves down in 14th position. Their form is up and down themselves, beating the big boys, losing against teams around them. In this match, I think at Anfield, Liverpool are going to be too strong, and I'm going for a comprehensive, solid 2-0 victory to the Reds. Next up, we've got Manchester United at home against Brighton. Man United winning their last 5 matches since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken charge. Brighton have only gained 1 point away from home in the league since I think it's 1st of December, and that point was in game week 21 against West Ham. I can't see them getting anything out of this game, and I'm going for another comprehensive
not, they don't concede that many goals, Brighton, but I can see the Red Devils winning this one 2-0.
Yeah, I think this is going to be Man United's game as well. Brighton haven't been picking up points recently, as you said. Man United just steamrolling teams, and I think it's going to be a 2-0 home victory. Next up, we've got Newcastle versus Cardiff. Now, Cardiff, the Salah situation. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, we just got to be patient, really.
Yeah.
Whether he's going to be ready, whether he's going to be even going to be signed before the weekend, we don't know. Still lots of speculation. They're in talks, they're not in talks, all this sort of stuff. Hopefully he'll sign.
He's not on the side tonight anyway.
I don't want him to be rushed through for Saturday. I'd rather him be it'd be great if he's there, but if he's not, get him ready for the next week.
Yeah.
I think it's midweek next week away against Arsenal, so that will be a tough baptism of fire for him if he signs.
But anyway, Cardiff, we've been doing alright recently. Very cagey form, did draw out last time around Huddersfield. Referee was atrocious.
I think the guys, well, if you haven't seen the vlog, I'll leave a link in the description to your channel, and you can see the vlog from that match.
And just how bad it was, and how sort of lucky Cardiff got as well. We did not play well.
No, it wasn't the greatest of games last week, was it?
But Newcastle dropped into the bottom three, haven't won in 5 or 6 matches now. Lost their last 2, of course. I think the Bluebirds are going to be stepping up for this game and are going to be targeting this one to win. And I reckon it will be a 2-1 away win to the Bluebirds.
Wow, yeah, it would be really good if Cardiff can get the full 3 points again in this fixture. I know Newcastle have got injury problems with the likes of Shelby is out. I think Lascelles went off in the FA Cup replay last night. Dummett is possibly out as well, and they've got other injuries as well. Cardiff, with their squad at the moment, they've also got injuries. Camarasa went off in that dreadful performance against Huddersfield last weekend. There's issues, I think, with Morrison at the back because Connolly was going to go out on loan to Hull, but he's been brought back into the Cardiff squad for this weekend at least. Anyway, so there may be changes there, and if that's the case, then you'll probably see Bruno Mango going into the centre of defence along with Sol Bamba and probably Peltier coming in at right back. With this game though, Cardiff, can they go away and get a second victory on the road this season? I'm not sure. I think at the moment Cardiff are finding it a little bit of a struggle to score goals. Newcastle as well, they don't score that many. They lost last week 2-1 against Chelsea. In this one, I think it's going to end up a stalemate, and I can see a 0-0 draw in this fixture.
Interesting.
Next up, we've got Southampton at home against Everton. Both teams, well, Southampton with Mr. Hasenhüttl have kind of turned things around. They find themselves now in 16th position. Everton's form, a bit erratic. Had a good game last week. I think it was 2-0 against Bournemouth. Going away to Southampton, I think at the Saints ground, I don't think they're going to come away with victory. I can see this one ending up in a stalemate, and I'm going to go in this match for a 1-1 draw.
Believe it or not, I actually think Everton are going to win this one. I think ever since they beat Bournemouth 2-0, even though Bournemouth haven't been in good form themselves, I think this is the point where Everton push on and start to become good again. Southampton, on the other hand, very cagey form, but I think this is going to be Everton's game, and I think it'll be a 2-1 victory to the Toffees. Next up, we have Watford versus Burnley. Now, Burnley won their last 4 fixtures, I believe, 3 or 4 fixtures. While Watford, a bit of cagey form. They've only lost once in their last 6 games, believe it or not. Going to be a close one, but I think this is Watford's game. I don't think Burnley will be able to win this, and I think it'll be a 2-0 victory to Watford. Burnley, of course, terrible away.
Yeah, Watford against Burnley, another difficult one to predict. Burnley having 3 very good victories on the bounce. Watford in good form themselves, find themselves in 7th position at the moment. I think strength-wise though, at home, Watford are going to come away in this one with a 2-1 victory. And an interesting fact is, do you know, Troy Deeney, with all the goals he's scored in his 123 Premier League appearances for Watford, he's only scored 1 goal with his left foot in all that time. That's interesting for the stat guys out there. Next up, we got the 5:30 fixture between Arsenal and Chelsea. Some people are saying this is the biggest match of the weekend. Debatable, I'd say. But Arsenal, losing last time out against West Ham, and Chelsea winning 2-1 against the Magpies. Chelsea have only lost once in the last 6 Premier League fixtures. This match going away to Arsenal. Arsenal really need to put on a bit of a show for their fans after that defeat against the Hammers. And I think this one's going to end up in a stalemate as well. And I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And rumour is that Higuain may be signing for Chelsea very soon as well. But we'll see what transpires with that.
Apparently they're saying it's really close, exactly the same as the Salah deal for Cardiff. They reckon, or I saw some things on Twitter saying that they're going to happen at the same time, maybe on the same day. But
hopefully before the weekend. Then.
Hopefully before the weekend, but. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very close match. Arsenal always perform very well at home. In 5th position, bit cagey form recently. Seems to be picking up those victories. It's just they cannot seem to win away. But they are at home, of course. Chelsea, 4th position, lost only once in the last 6 games. I think it's going to be a stalemate. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think it's going to be 2-2. Next up, we've got managerless Huddersfield versus Man City. Now, last night, David Wagner, I believe, walked from the club, terminated his contract on mutual consent. So Huddersfield are without a manager at the moment after drawing with us on the weekend. 11 points, haven't won in ages, only won 2 matches this season and lost 15. Man City starting to pick up form after their poor run after their poor run a few weeks ago. This is Man City's game. It's just we have to figure out by how many it will be, and I reckon it'll be a 4-0 victory to the Citizens.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a straightforward victory to Manchester City in this fixture as well. Normally, when a manager goes, you get a massive reaction from the players. It may well happen. I think for this fixture, Mark Hudson's probably going to be taking charge. Former player, of course, former Huddersfield and Cardiff City as well. So. I think he's on the coaching staff there at the moment at Huddersfield. Huddersfield fans, you can tell me that anyway. I'm sure he is. Yeah, I can't see much purchase coming from Huddersfield. Will the players be feeling sorry for themselves that the manager has gone? Possibly. I don't know how they work up there in Huddersfield. But yeah, I can only see a straightforward 4-0 victory for Man City in this fixture. Final fixture of the weekend comes at 4 o'clock on Sunday, and that's between Fulham against Spurs. London derby. Fulham find themselves 19th position in the table. Tottenham up in 3rd place, losing that massive game last week against Manchester United.
De Gea was unstoppable, wasn't he?
Well, he made some very good saves. There are a few people saying, oh, you know, he saved a lot of them with his feet, etc. Why didn't he get his hands to it? But, you know, they had a clean sheet in the end, Manchester United, which continued their good form. As we saw, I think it was last night before, Harry Kane is now injured, out for a couple of months. Son has gone to the Asian Cup. Dembele has left, I think, in this transfer window as well. So a little bit light, you could say there. Get a couple more injuries, and you could see Spurs even drop out of that top 4. In this match, however, I can actually see Spurs having too much class for Fulham. We haven't seen a lot from Fulham this season, really, and I can see the Lily Whites going away to Fulham and winning 2-0.
Yeah, I think this is Spurs' game, even though they're in a bit of an injury crisis and a players departing to the Asian Cup crisis. But yeah, well, you could say that with Son, such a good player, but
he's been brilliant the last month also.
Yeah, Fulham been in a bit of Fulham are not in good form at the moment. Lost their last 2 matches. Been losing to sides around them, such as Burnley and West. Well, they did lose to West Ham. They did beat Huddersfield though, which I thought was a good achievement, but I don't think it's enough for them. I think they're going to lose 3-1.
Excellent. Okay, so that concludes our predictions for week 23 of this, the 2018-2019 season. As always, I'm going to leave a template of the fixtures in the description. All you need to do then is copy and paste them into your comment, and like HG last week, who gained 14 points, of course, you could get a shout out in the next video. Now, before we go, Nathan, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, we always do this after a manager is sacked, but who is the next one to go?
Who's the next one to go? I really don't know, actually. Burnley have turned it around. I can't see Warnock leaving Cardiff, and so, unless something calamitous happens. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think there'll be any. Fulham have already changed their manager this season. Yeah. So, would Benitez walk? Maybe Benitez,
Yeah.
I don't know. They lose on Saturday, and then perhaps the week after, then maybe Benitez, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't actually think that there's going to be any more manager sackings this season. I don't think there'll be any more this season, except the most likely ones, Benitez walking if either A, he doesn't get backed by Mike Ashley, or B, their performances start slipping again. But apart from that, the most...
Maybe the Leicester manager.
Really? Puel?
Yeah, I know that a lot of Leicester fans aren't happy with his playing style.
Interesting. Mind another manager that you could say as well. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this in the comments, but Marco Silva.
From Everton already?
From Everton, yes. 10th position. I'd expect Everton fans want to get into the top 8, maybe top 7. And their form recently hasn't been good, I'd say.
Yeah, they did struggle recently. You know, they picked up last weekend, so there we are. So then, guys, that's it for another week's predictions. Hope you enjoyed the football over the weekend. But for now, we'll bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video.